Welcome. In front of me is a NUBIA Neo 3, and today I'll be going over unboxing along with a quick look at the device and also its specifications. So let's just get straight into this. Okay, so there we go. That's basically everything in the box. Cable, case, actual screen protector. There isn't one pre-applied for some moronic reason. So instead of, giving you a phone that has already this crap applied, so you don't have to mess around with this and most likely get air bubbles under there and all that crap, because it is a plastic cheap protector. You have to do it yourself and have to deal with that garbage, which is kind of a shitty choice right here, I would say. Now, when it comes to the device itself, well, that's probably a little bit too bright, though. I guess to change that I'll need to go to the setup. So let's select English. I'm gonna go quickly to the setup right here, continue, skip. Come on. And there we go, it's now set up. So let me just lower down the brightness from literally the max, or almost. And now it's a bit more visible. So the display right here is a 6.8 inches, so a pretty substantial screen size. It's also 1080p in resolution. So to be more precise, it's 1080 by 2392 pixels. Is that an actual OLED display? No way. It says it's an OLED display. But I do want to go in here. Let's go into dark mode, turn on. Yep, that looks like an OLED display. Okay. Interesting. So it comes with an OLED display, which is pretty good, and 120 Hz refresh rate and a brightness of about 1000 nits. It was 386 pixels per inch, and doesn't really have too many info about the screen to body ratio. And I'm getting all this information from gsmarena.com, which is a pretty reliable source. So no info there on the screen to body ratio, but I can tell you that the ratio here won't be any like the best ones, as we do have a quite substantial chin at the bottom right here, as you can see, and the bezels on the sides are, I would say, okay-ish, but then again on the top it's a little bit thicker and they're not symmetrical. So the top and the bottom are different sizes, while also sides to the top is different and to the bottom is different. So so just basically you have only the sides about the same, rest is just kind of all kinds of different thicknesses, which is obviously for new phones nowadays, this kind of look is a bit dated, I would say. If you compare it to something like the CMF phone, they actually have a bit symmetrical, at least the CMF Phone 2 Pro, which comes at about similar price tag. And when you compare it to actual like flagships, then they just absolutely dwarf the bezels there. These look comical in comparison. But nonetheless, the fact that it comes with a AMOLED display, 120 Hz. Pretty good. Now, if we flip it over to the back, we have our acquired taste back, I would say. And what looks to be a single camera setup, because I don't think this is an actual camera, but let's see. Oh, it is actually. Okay, never mind, it's not. So it's a 50 megapixel 1.8 aperture wide sensor, and then right under that you have this thing called 2 megapixel depth sensor, which is absolutely freaking useless. So in reality, that's the only camera you have. This one is absolutely redundant. It's only put here just to make the device look a little bit, I guess, better in terms of cameras. Now at the front we also have a selfie and a hole punched camera, and that houses a 16 megapixel 2.0 aperture wide sensor. Now with both front and back, you're limited to 1080p 30 frames recordings, which isn't the best. So moving on into the internals, under this glass and plastic build, we have a 6,000 mAh battery, that's pretty good, and 33 watts of charging speed through a cable without provided charger. We have 8 gigabytes of RAM with, for some reason, no mention of the storage on GSM Arena. Let me just find a box. Does it say right here? Or here? You kidding me? Seriously? Nothing? Okay then. I guess I'm just gonna have to do it myself by going into the settings, because apparently neither the box nor GSM Arena can tell me what the storage here is. Storage, and we had 256 gigs of storage. Now it says 223 because some of it is already taken, but this would be a 256 gigs with 8 gigabytes of RAM. I would say for a base entry, I can actually see it right here. For a base entry, this is an okay storage. Now in terms of expandability though, let's grab this. And we have expandable storage with SD card as well as dual SIM card support. So we can have either 2 SIM cards or 1 SIM and 1 SD card. So if you need more than 256, you're good to go. Now, last thing would be the processor in here, and that's the Unisec T8300 processor. And I actually have no clue, to be completely honest, how well this processor performs. It's literally the first time I'm seeing it, so I'm not really going to be giving my opinion how good it is. I can quickly maybe check it out, so bear with me while I move the box away and copy this. Let's try something like this. So, oh boy, oh that does, oh boy, wow, that doesn't bode well. How about here? Do we have anything different? No, okay. Wait, what? User reviews, okay, that doesn't really matter. One more check. Please tell me that this is, okay, no, this is garbage. And come on website, please load. Okay, that's about the same. And two benchmarks. Let me just find the, great, it's not finding this one. Okay, so from what I can see at a quick glance, though this is just info that I can find on the internet, this processor is not the best, especially not for the price. And when I check the Antutu.com for their benchmarks, this processor doesn't even score in the top 216 processors for some reason. Now, it could be that there is no data for it and it just doesn't show up, or it could be that it's just worse. But from what I also seen on other websites, it seems to be worse. So topcpu.net scores these processors in terms of percentages because I was comparing it to the MediaTek 7300. Scores it, the MediaTek being 41% better than the T8300, which is in here. So on average, it's about 40% better. And that is not a small increase, just to put that out there. So for a phone that was released this year, to have this kind of low of a specification for about 200 euros, I would consider this to be a bit of a an L of a device, because you can get something like the CMF Phone 1 or even 2 Pro for this price. Now, when saying CMF Phone 1 or 2, they have different processors. The CMF Phone 1, the first version of it, had the Dimensity 7300, while the second one had Dimensity 7300 Pro or Ultra, whatever the hell it was. But it's basically a faster version of it. So in either case, even the older device that was released like a year ago, or nearly 2 years ago now, still has a faster processor than this device. So that's already kind of a problem. And number two, not only is it faster, it's going to be cheaper at this point. And in terms of specifications, it has about 8 to 12 gigs of RAM, same kind of storage, smaller battery, same charging, and better cameras. So that's just the first one. The second one, which is about the same price as well, will have also an improved cameras, like significantly improved over the first one and over this device. So there are better alternatives to this device that will offer you better specifications for the same money while still, well, being pretty freaking good. Now, I do want to give this phone kind of a fair comparison, as what this device offers is something that the other two devices that I mentioned can't offer, which is these capacitive buttons that we have right here. Now, they are plastic, but do they show up anything? Nope, they don't show up right now. So if you launch any kind of, there we go, game space. Okay, no, please stop. Game space. You can map these buttons in games to basically be a trigger. And that's something that the other phones can't do. But with that being said, at 40% fast or slower processor, gaming on this device is not going to be the best experience, I would say. So the question is, do you really want to spend the same amount of money just so to have these kind of capacitive touches? Or do you maybe want to spend less money or about the same and have a device that can actually play games much better? So that's what I would be probably looking for the latter, as I would prefer to have better experience while playing rather than these capacitive touches, because this is something that I can solve differently. I don't need a phone for that. I can, for instance, connect a gamepad through Bluetooth, or have one of those, stretchy ones that you can just kind of clip on the sides and have normal buttons right there, which obviously makes it much better than a touch display. So that's another option. What you can't really add is a speed to the device. So what you get right here is what you're gonna have. And if this device is slow and plays games kind of crappily, obviously that's something that you can't buy additional hardware to make it run better. And I would probably prioritize that first, and only then would I be looking into a device that has some additional gaming features, like the capacitive areas on the side. So that's just my perspective on this. Like I said, kind of a slow device compared to other devices on the market at the same price tag. So I don't think it's worth the money, but it still has some of the features that I can't really look past. Like, for instance, a very good display. So it is a AMOLED display at 120 Hz refresh rate, so that is pretty good. It also has a very big battery at 6,000 That's something, again, that I want to point out. Bigger than the phones that I mentioned as a recommendation. So at the end of the day, if you're looking for longer battery life, this probably will have longer than what I mentioned before. In terms of photos, obviously it's not the best. So see what you want this device for, and then based on that, make the decision. But I would say if you're looking at for this phone or a phone like this at this price range for gaming purposes, then I recommend going with a faster device at the same price and giving away the gaming features. You will have much better time with that, and like I mentioned before, you can just connect a gamepad and have the gaming kind of features that this device offers at a much more premium feel with a, like I said, a gamepad. So anyway, that's about it. So if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.